All right, let's bring in Kevin Green, senior markets correspondent, to help set up some of the other action today. Let's talk about one of the Mag 7 players, Nvidia, in focus today. We've got all eyes on Jensen Huang when it comes to Nvidia. Tell us what we can expect, Kevin.
Yeah, so NVIDIA's GTC conference is going to be starting here, and Jensen Huang is going to be a keynote speaker. Now, the market is actually expecting some updates when it comes to the product offerings of their business, especially when you're looking at the new Blackwell chipset, the Blackwell Ultra AI chipset, which is going to pretty much replace what we've seen from some of these earlier models here. You're also expecting an update when it comes to Rubin, which is going to be the new next-gen GPU that comes out, and then also the CPU Vera is also supposed to be discussed as well. And I think the other thing that the market's going to be really focusing on, especially analysts, are going to be the CUDA platform and seeing how they are able to not only grow the software packages within this suite, but also how they're leveraging their own customers in order to build out development. That is actually something that's very unique when it comes to NVIDIA. And I think the market is really trying to look for some fireworks, and hopefully Jensen can kind of put a little bit of enthusiasm when it comes to NVIDIA stock and try to have this pop a little bit more. And Jensen's actually really good at public speaking. So hopefully this is not a buy the rumor, sell the news event like we usually see from Apple. But there's supposed to be a lot of updates when it comes to this keynote address as well as this conference. They also have a day that is dedicated to quantum computing. And that's also another area that investors have started to address here over the last 6 months to almost a year now. And let's see if they are making any type of meaningful advances in the quantum space.
Okay, so the stock is sitting below 120 right now. Is that kind of a ceiling for it lately, or what would you say is, where it could potentially hit resistance?
Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of looking at the stock chart, especially a 3-year weekly chart, this has actually been in a little bit of a bull flag. So we actually got to the, pretty much the lower end of that range, around that $105, $100 level, where you saw some buyers kind of stepping in. If you're kind of looking into the upside of that channel, you're looking at around $135, give or take, maybe a buck or two here. So I think the technicals really say that there might be additional upside for this stock, but unfortunately, it is still making lower highs when you're kind of looking at this channel here. So we are definitely dependent on it when it comes to the broader market. And if we do see this type of risk on tone, or this situation where the market is now digested tariff risk and things of that nature, NVIDIA could be one of those stocks that see some positive flows coming back into it.
All right. We also got the Fed in focus today, kicking off their latest meeting. This seems like this will be a big one in the sense of not, the expectations for interest rates, but what we could hear about economic projections. What would you say, KG?
Yeah, I mean, every single Fed meeting is the biggest Fed meeting in this whole cycle, right? And fair. So this one's going to be very unique because we do get the updated summary of economic projections, basically that dot plot that shows that where Fed members kind of see rates towards the end of this year, or by the end of this year. Now, the last dot plot did show that they expect around 2 rate cuts for this year. Market, depending on the day, is pricing in between 2 or 3 rate cuts for this year. And then we'll also get an update on their the economic outlook of not only GDP, but also core PCE and things of that nature. And that'll also be very key. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, some of these members have taken into account early on, especially the last dot plot, tariff policy that might impact the U.S. economy here. And now we have a little bit more insights as to how that strategy or tariff policy is going to be rolled out here. And I would suspect that they were probably factor that in a little bit more. Maybe we see a little bit of an adjustment to the downside when it comes to GDP expectations for the remainder of the year here.
Okay, and I want to get your expectations for today when it comes to some of the trading action. Futures under a little bit of pressure this morning. I feel like we did start out under a little bit of pressure. Yesterday, we got the retail sales numbers, and although it was weaker than expected, I guess it was at least you have a gain for the month compared to what January's were. So we finished at 56.75. Are you looking for 5,700 today, or what are the levels you're looking for, KG?
Yeah, to the upside, 5,700 is going to be a key area of resistance. But if you're kind of looking at the early flows, which is still light volume, looking at around 57.30 to the upside. To the downside, you're still looking at around 5,600. So a pretty wide range, 130 points. And that's not really being reflected in the volatility index right now. VIX is sitting at around 20 to 21. So you're expecting around what, a 1.6% move, 1.7% move to the upside or downside here. So it wouldn't be unusual though, Diane, for us to have low trading volume for today, maybe a compressed range for the most part, leading up to a Fed meeting. But we will have President Trump signing some executive orders, an hour left to go into the close. And we usually see some comments coming from the president when he is signing those executive orders. So that could provide a little bit of fireworks for this market here. But a nice little two-day rally. We're up around 3% from those lows, maybe hitting up to or getting close to that 200-day moving average over the next couple of days, maybe in the cards. And that would be probably the first big short zone that we could see for this market so far. So good action, a little bit of a pullback this morning, but we have a long time to go until the equity close here.
That's fair. Definitely a long time to go. And so potential on one side for low trading volume because we don't have the Fed close until tomorrow. But you never know what comes from the White House. All right, KG, thanks a ton for the setup for today.